Hello. So I thought I'll make a short video on diaphragm breathing. This would be from a movementless yoga perspective, and this would be kind of stage one kind. Even on, I've made I think, a few videos on this, and that's been on stage one too. But the thing is, it's better to do something, start well, do the right thing, finer things, and then over time, get better. It's always a good morning, yeah. And I could speak to the extent that I could speak at that point in time about the beginning stages of diaphragm breathing by movementless yoga. And then I was thinking, if you're going to do something further refined, it becomes easier for you to have the benefit of it. So let me try again. So the previous videos would be available on my YouTube channel. Okay, and so without further ado, I invite you to bring your attention to the sides of your chest. Left and right sides, from your armpits all the way to the to your waist. Yeah, that part, the waist. Left and right sides of your chest. And then notice, so when I say left and right sides, that's about where your body is kind of curving to the back, front to back. And why is this important? Why am I mentioning it as a sides? Is I'm not talking about the front muscles, but I'm not talking about the region about your diaphragm. I'm not talking about the waist alone. I'm talking about the entire region from your armpits to your waist. Yeah. Because I mentioned this particularly because for a lot of people, the continuity of the side may not be as easily feelable or sensible. Your ability to feel that area in terms of warmth, in terms of softness, in terms of moisture may be limited. If it is not limited for you, good for you. There may be people who may not be able to feel or be able to sense these areas in a continuity. Try and pay attention to what comes to your attention. Is it the um, is it this region exactly by the diaphragm, or is it the waist, or is it this region, your armpits? Yeah. So notice the softness of your tissues. So that could be about the region of your chest, all the way to the back. And then notice, how is the movement of your chest as you're breathing? Is there a movement to your chest as the lungs expand and contract? So this is not something that you may voluntarily breathe, inhale and exhale, and then notice the movement of your chest. You could do that too, to have a certain palpable sense of the movement of your chest. But I'm talking about a subtle movement where, because the lungs are expanding and contracting, your chest muscles are moving in a certain way. And this would be a subtle movement. So as you're breathing, as you're naturally breathing, notice if there's any natural movement of your chest in an expansion and contraction manner. And particularly, notice if the sides of your chest move as you're breathing. Are you able to notice any kind of movement about the sides of your chest? Now, this may seem like a challenge. This may be a challenge for many people, because this paying attention to the movement of the sides of your chest may not be an everyday activity. You may not have had the need to pay attention to this. Nevertheless, notice the sides of your chest in terms of softness, in terms of warmth. it then becomes easier to pay attention to any sense of movement in the sides of your chest. So warmth, softness. And as you're paying attention to warmth and softness, any subtle movement or different kinds of movement that could be subtle, it could be more pronounced, is likely to be able to be appreciated. Notice how is your breath as you're paying attention to the movement in the sides of your chest. Chances are you notice your breath slightly deepening, that the length of your breath is longer, inhalation, exhalation. That also comes from your breath kind of deepening. Continue to notice any sense of movement by the sides of your chest, and notice in terms of warmth and softness. And notice if your abdomen is responding in any way to the movement of your chest, to the sides of your chest. As the sides of your chest are moving, notice if your abdomen corresponds in some way with the movement at the sides of your chest. So your chest itself may have a certain movement. The sides of your chest would have a different movement because this part would be moving this way. Sides of your chest would be moving this way. Yeah. Back would be moving this way. And your abdomen would be moving differently than how your chest and the sides move, and also the back. So this may take a little while getting used to paying attention to this movement. Abdomen is moving this way, sides are moving this way, chest is moving this way. Pay attention to any one movement. For right now, stay with the movement of the sides of your chest because the other movements are correlated with this. Yeah. So you're not experiencing overwhelm. Right now, just stay with the warmth, softness, and any gentle movement at the sides of your chest. And notice how is your breath while you're paying attention to this movement. About that region, about this region, is where your diaphragm is. It could be tight for some people if diaphragm breathing has not been practiced in some time. And a lot of people also tend to forcefully breathe. Yeah, voluntarily inhale, exhale in the practice of what's called diaphragm breathing or Kapalabhati. This method of what I'm calling as diaphragm breathing is different. This is movementless yoga. It becomes gentler, but it takes a little more to get familiar with the movement of your diaphragm. So this is literally your diaphragm breathing. Okay? The tissues of your diaphragm breathing. And it's a natural breathing. Because every tissues of our body have their own alive rhythms. Yeah, breathing rhythms. Yeah. So now, for a while, pay attention to the front of your diaphragm, so to speak. Yeah. About this region here. Yeah. And notice if there's any kind of tension in that region, or rather, pay attention to the sense of softness in that region. Because this, you may have been paying attention to the sides of your chest. And now when you bring attention to the front, you're likely to notice any tissue difference, any difference in how this region, the front region, moves. Yeah. So notice in terms of softness, notice in terms of warmth, if possible. You don't have to, But if you can just pay attention to softness, any sense of softness, that would be good enough too. Our ability to sense this region, the region in the front, may be limited sometimes due to, because there's a nerve plexus there, a bundle of nerves. And the health of that region is different for different people. Also because of different stages of growth. Each person is in different stages of growth. So if you can notice any sense of softness, that would be good enough. Nevertheless, continue to pay attention to warmth, softness, and any gentle rhythmic movement about the sides of your chest. Yeah. And if it's seeming boring, that is also something to notice, because your nerves may in some way be relaxing. And that sometimes shows up as boredom or irritation, or even you want to move around. Yeah. Nevertheless, because your muscles and nerves are finely connected. So when your muscles are kind of relaxing, your nerves are like, has been always like this, and then know what to do. So there could be an irritation. Yeah. So continue to pay attention to warmth and softness of your muscles, and notice the gentle rhythmic movement of your muscles. So even if there is that sense of getting up and go or doing something, pay attention to your breath, pay attention to the movement of the sides of your chest, and pay attention also to that sense of boredom, if that's there. Because that's different ways by which your nerves and your muscles are rearranging, yeah, the health of that part of your body, of the sides of your chest, about the region of your diaphragm. So we'll pause for now. Yeah, you do want to do, we'll pause while it's still good. Yeah. Because we don't want to do too much too soon, because that's one thing about movementless yoga. Just a little at a time. Yeah. If you're feeling tired, I invite you to just walk around, or I invite you to have a cup of water and just relax, paying particular attention to nothing, maybe just see the wall, the pictures around, colors, something that will take you away from intense focused attention. Yeah. It will also help you relax, but this is also part of movementless yoga. Yeah, you don't do too much too soon. So there are several fine details, which is why I recommend doing this. Yeah. If you'd like to continue work on this, there are further stages, but if you'd like to continue work on this, or if there's any specific health condition that you'd like to work with, do contact me and we'll be able to work. Each person would have finer details according to the health of each person, because each person is unique, you see. So thank you so much for your kind interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.